What's up, everybody, and welcome to We Are One, You Are Two, a PlayStation and a video game podcast. This is episode 14. This is where we talk about everything from ambulances to chainsaws to video games. I'm your host, as always, Rob Fanzo. Joined once again by he only plays Rocket League himself, Matt Rhodes.
That's me.
Now, if you like what you hear, you can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube every week by Sunday at 9 p.m. YouTube, we usually try to put up by Wednesday. And Matt, I totally forgot to put it up this week. And so we are recording on a Thursday night. So I'm going to make sure I put that up tonight before I go to bed. It is April 5th. So you'll hear this next week.
You didn't even put the thing up?
No. I put it up on everything else. I didn't put it up on good old YouTube yet.
Okay, all right.
So the whole 13 people that subscribe to me,
I guess,
are going to have to wait. That's because I'm in the mountains. But anyway,
how dare you be in the mountains?
I know. How dare I take a spring break? But this is how much I love it. I'm doing this on my spring break.
Hey-o.
And so where I go, you go. We've got a good show lined up for listeners this week. There's some news about Spiderman, which is going to be the big topic of our show. There's a couple other little pieces of news stories we're going to talk about as well. And then we're going to touch on a little bit about this day in gaming history. We're talking about what came out this week. Some good stuff came out this week as well. And then we're going to end it with a good old discussion about what would Matt do for that trophy. And then hopefully starting next week, you, the community, will start giving me some people to shout out to for the UR2 community shout out, since it's been a few weeks since we shouted out to a content creator. And then also in the future, I have two indie developers lined up. So something special is coming down the pipeline with them as soon as I get with them and figure out when we can interview them and talk with them. Those will be special episodes as well.
Sweet.
Yep. So let's first start off with, I know I'm on spring break, but I brought my Vita with me. Let's talk about what we've been playing this week, though.
Oh, wait, did you do the before I forget?
Oh, well, you know what?
Is there no biffs today?
There's one little biff, I guess. And see, I forgot about it already. I did upload to the YouTube channel a PSVR play of Wipeout.
Oh.
It's more of a review playthrough because Sony Dev of Europe released a PS4 VR patch. It was over 6 gigs almost for VR support for the entire Wipeout Omega HD collection. And so I decided to try that out. Nice. I gave it a spin. Our buddy over in England, Sofa of Adam, gave it a spin as well. And so you can see his video on his YouTube channel and ours, mine on ours as well. And I just kind of talked my way through it and kind of give you some of the things that I walked away with after playing 2 different races on there. So it's not a montage and it's not a polished review. It's more of just an impressions piece, so you can kind of see what I was thinking as I played through it. And then I've also finished editing Out of My Pocket, and that's going to go up soon. And I've already picked the next game for Out of My Pocket as well. And so if you want to check that out and see what that is, head over to Patreon where there's more details for that too.
You want to remind us what game you played for the first Out of Pocket?
Pinstripe. And so those are going to be about half-hour playthroughs, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through the game, show you probably the second half of any game that I play, just so you can get a sense of, once you really get going, what you're getting yourself in for. And again, those are games, if you're not interested in buying them or you're not sure, you're on the fence, it's a half-hour playthrough to kind of show you the pros and cons of it, and I'll talk about it as well. And in the future, I'll do whatever game people request. You just have to hit me up on Patreon to do that.
Cool.
There we go. I guess that was a lot longer before I forget than I actually thought.
Well, now that you remembered.
Now that I remember, yeah. Well, I wrote it down. That doesn't mean I look at it. I write a lot of things down and I don't know where I put them.
Yep.
So what have you been playing?
Well, as of, 2 minutes ago, Rocket League.
Yeah, how was that experience?
It's good and bad. They just did a huge update, the tournaments update. So you can now play these like little tournaments online. One thing I was interested to play, but it was like, it was going to take like 5 minutes for like the tournament to actually start. But so I kind of like backed out of it. But it was like this 1v1 tournament that was created in Europe. it's what's cool is you can put on the tournaments, you can put like mutator settings. The mutator setting was max goal 1. So it was like a 64 person 1v1 tournament, but it was only one goal per game. So it would have been a quick tournament. So it would have been kind of cool to see, like, you know, how that worked out or how far I could have gotten. But I didn't want to wait because I knew we had to do this. So I wanted to play, you know, another game.
Yeah. Understandable.
But I did a little bit of Monster Hunter yesterday. And
I still need to finish that.
And then, of course, Far Cry 5. I've just been playing. So Monster Hunter, I guess there's like a spring fling event. I don't know what that's called. Spring something event. And a lot of the weekly events have the what the heck they called? The gold crown.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Monsters.
Yep.
So like all of them that are in that timed event, you can get your gold crown for those specific monsters that are in that event. Whichever one you pick. There's one that's like 4 of them, 4 different, like hunt 4 different monsters. So I would like to go back on there and do that with obviously 4 different people because that would be insane, hunting down 4 different monsters. However, like I said, they're all supposedly up to that, you know, those crown, like the gold crown standard. So they're the largest. And I fought one of those little Kukachus, I don't know, Kukachus or whatever. I don't know. Kukachus, yeah, whatever they are. And I was wondering to myself, I was like, because I forgot about it. I was like, why is this dude so huge? Like, this is like the biggest one I've ever seen. Like, they are physically larger. Like, they're just like taller than you've ever seen. So it was very interesting to kind of see like how they mutated them a little bit, because it was a different, you know, it's a different kind of fight when they're that big. You know, when they're like physically bigger. But it was kind of cool. I did my thing and rocked it out, and then I realized, oh, that's right. I get a gold crown for all these guys.
I'm gonna have to hop back in when I get back home.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think the spring event goes for a while. I think it's like, you know, I don't know if it's all of spring or if it's at least a month. You know, and there's different things that they release each week. I think there was a whole. I forget who the YouTuber was that I was watching that was chronicling the thing, but he broke down exactly what they're going to do, and like what they're going to re-release. They're going to re-release the Aloy stuff.
I had a feeling they would do that.
Yeah, exactly. So anybody who missed that, they can get back into that and get like the stuff that they need for that. The one thing I was a little bit confused about, because they did say they were bringing back the Ryu one. The Street Fighter one. Now I remember,
right, okay.
I know that you had to have a
save file,
but I don't know if they bring it back if you have to have one or not.
That would be amazing if you didn't, because that was my sole reason.
Yeah, I would be super happy if that was the case.
Yeah,
I almost like you. I almost tried to find a way to get a hold of Street Fighter just so I could get save data, so I could get that, you know, get that outfit basically.
Yeah, same here.
And then, then there's like there's the one where it turns your Palico into Mega Man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently. So
I do have to get that.
Yeah, I really want to get that. And again, I don't know if there was a save data attached to that one either, but those are the things there. And it's outlined in more detail in this guy's YouTube video. And, you know, he kind of picks apart like, what you guys want to look at, and like, you know, what would be best to, like, you know, what the event is named, and you know, when to go after it, and what'll help you out the best for that event, which is cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then Far Cry, good lord, it's intense. The more and more I play it, the more and more I love it. It's just it's good and bad. I would say the one thing that's bad about it is you can do as much as you want as far as like side missions and all that stuff, but at certain points, because you're like building up resistance points in each area, at certain points it will force you into the story.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it's good for that sense, you know, in that sense where it's like, okay, they're coming after me because I'm building this resistance, but at the same time I kind of just want to like screw around a little bit more in the game itself. Like there's things that I did yesterday that ended up being main story missions, but I didn't realize that as I was starting them. You know what I mean? I just kind of like, this would be cool to do because like an NPC told me to do something like this. So I did it, and I was like, oh, this is turning into a story mission.
Well, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get back to that. Then I haven't been playing much. I've been playing Iconoclast on my Vita nonstop.
Okay.
And I loved it. And the more I get into it, because I was just looking now on my Vita to see where I was, I'm 22% through the story, through the game. And the more I get into it, the more frustrating it becomes, because they suddenly introduce new enemy types, they introduce new mechanics, but they don't always give you the best sense of where you're supposed to go, how you're supposed to fight them, what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
It is frustrating, and it's amazing because it's a game that was previewed back in 2011. It's made by one guy. Took him 6 years to make, 7 years to make, and it was released in January this year on PC and PS4 and Xbox One. And I really like it. I mean, it's that 16-bit art style, and it's very much like a Castlevania, Metroid type game. It just really gets frustrating. I actually sat there today or yesterday at one point, and while a boss was shooting his lasers at me, I found a nice hiding spot, and I literally just let him do that over and over again while I searched what the heck I was supposed to do, because it wasn't very clear on how I was supposed to maneuver.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so that's part of the frustration with it. But otherwise, I'm enjoying it. I don't fully understand the story yet, but I figure I'll get there. And so I've been messing around with that and really itching to play Salt and Sanctuary, which is a 2D Dark Souls. I had that on my Vita. I'm waiting to get back to that. So that's really all I've been playing this week.
Just a bunch of Vita games.
Yeah, well, the Vita's not dead for me.
A console that will be obsolete in a year.
Yeah. Yes, seriously. However, that doesn't mean I'll stop playing mine, because mine's... we bought those in 2012, so 6 years old, and still holds a great charge. I still have games on it that I have never finished or played. I just downloaded what do they call that? A visual novel.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I just downloaded one of those for the road too.
That's cool.
Although I've been spending so much time in Iconoclast, I probably have about 10 hours in Iconoclast, and I'm 20% through the story. So I didn't think it was that long of a game.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like by the time it becomes obsolete, you'll have a Switch, and then you'll just carry that around, playing that everywhere.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All right, it's time for PlayStation-news. We're going to cover the top 5 news stories. That's right, I biasly picked top 5. However, these are on PlayStation. Sometimes the world beyond it from the past week. However, I only really found 3 or 4 that I really, as of today, right? And I haven't done a whole lot of searching on today's news, so if something happened today, I really probably missed out. So I'm not going to go through these in any particular order, but just one that's kind of a throwaway, although I shouldn't say a throwaway, because I've seen articles about how it's basically taking over in schools as well. Fortnite's now on all mobile platforms. And I saw a news story after we recorded last week about how certain schools are struggling to get students to pay attention in school because they're trying to finish Fortnite matches as class begins.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so that was just one I just wanted to briefly mention. The other one...
And we tried to do a Uplay on it.
Oh, yeah, we did try to do a Uplay Let's Play. I'm actually in the editing room with that right now. It's actually going to be a very special combo of Fortnite and Rocket League. And you'll see why when you get that Let's Play up on YouTube, when I get that up.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm in the editing process with that, too. Lots of videos coming down the streamline down the pipeline that I've been editing in my spare time this week, with fancy little intros and such.
Fun.
Number 3 comes from Kotaku, and that's just that I thought this tied in nicely with the idea of what Battlefront had done, and that's 6 months after release, Shadow of War, which I haven't even finished playing yet, or even touching. Actually...
You own that game?
I do.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even buy it because I knew that it was immediately going to go into my backlog, and I wouldn't have time for it because it's such a huge... I remember the first one. It was such a huge game, so I was like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah, and so I bought it. I played maybe an hour of it, and that was it. They removed microtransactions. They said that they realized it didn't fit the business model anymore, that it was kind of irrelevant, etc. The article on Kotaku says nobody cares, and I kind of agree with that. since I didn't
Nobody
even get
cares
through
that
it yet.
they
Removed them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because that people weren't using them anyways?
I think so. I think it probably costs them more to run the back end of things than people to actually buy them. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention that. Number 2, God of War director. Also, this is from Push Square, actually. They had an interview with him, or there's an interview going around, I should say, talking about the campaign. And he's like, what have we done? Because I guess the previous God of Wars took about 10 hours to complete. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you really want to do everything in this, it's going to take you around 40 hours.
Wow.
And so he said that one of the system designers just did a full playthrough to get 100%, and he played 43 hours. Wow. And he knows what he's doing, was the quote.
So it's gone from God of War. Well, it's gone from like a Call of Duty-ish kind of playthrough to what, Last of Us, probably? Maybe Assassin's Creed.
Or Assassin's Creed was what I immediately thought of. Yeah. Or even Dark Souls, because Dark Souls takes me on average 80 hours. And so, if you're talking about probably 50 hours here, that makes sense. So that was just a little tidbit I found interesting. However,
what have we done?
What have we done? I did like the title of that article. The biggest news, and you can find this anywhere, and it was just released yesterday. Insomniac tweeted it out. Spider-Man on PS4 finally has a release date, and it is September 7th.
Ooh.
And yes, they announced collector's editions and everything like that as well.
That's close to my birthday, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, you may just find that one in the mail. But I am super pumped about that. In fact, that's going to lead us into our topic. And since there's no more news, let's just go ahead and jump straight into that.
Let's do it.
So this is our topic of conversation. And today, I want to talk about Spider-Man because I'm a fanboy when it comes to Spider-Man. And I want to talk about whether or not we think he could very well take Game of the Year, in my opinion, or at least topple kind of that superhero crown that Batman Arkham games have been wearing for so long.
Right.
And I was taking a look at what was still left. So this kind of two topics here at once, I guess. And I was looking at what still has to come out this year that's big. God of War in April, Detroit Become Human, Red Dead 2. And then I looked on Metacritic earlier in the week just to see what other big games had come out this year, to see if there was anything that stood out to me that would, like Far Cry 5, for example, that could easily kind of take that crown. Ni no Kuni just came out, of course. Shadow Colossus, but that's a remake. Monster Hunter World as well. Celeste was rated really high.
Yeah, I love how their rating is 91 on Metacritic. That's awesome. I mean, it was really good. I mean, it's got to win Best Indie Game for sure. I'd be shocked and appalled if it was not the winner of Best Indie Game of the Year.
Yeah. It's got some good competition, but I do think if it's not nominated, I would be horrified. Just reading the Game Informer article, they talked about web swinging feels fluid, feels natural. You pretty much, it's an active process. It's not complicated, but you can basically do almost sounds like freestyle, impressive movements that require you to constantly use the buttons or input to be able to do things. Webs stick to buildings. This is from the Game Informer article, right? Physics are important. Depending on where you let go of the web, it will change his trajectory and his speed. You can use two webs to pull yourself forward. You can make U-turns. You can make sharp turns. It sounds like they've taken everything about the Assassin's Creed and the flow of parkour and everything like that. And I was thinking Sunset Overdrive, since it's Insomniac, probably what they learned from that open world game. They've taken everything and kind of mashed the best of all those worlds together to create a very fluid moving Spider-Man.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. Is this only on Sony PlayStation?
Yep. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
Ooh, man.
What a nab for them, right?
Yeah. Yikes. Especially because, Sony gave up their rights. Didn't Sony give up their rights to Spider-Man? Or at least the movie rights, I guess, back to Disney, so, they could put them in the Marvel universe,
they let Marvel basically take take the reins there. They didn't give it up completely, but Marvel basically has all creative control from what I can recall. If I'm wrong, somebody email me, let me know about that. But basically, you have all creative control on Marvel's end, and so.
But I think that is just the movies, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, not talking about games at all.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless. They mapped in that Game Informer article. They also map out like some of the controllers, like R2, either shoots out webs in midair, or you can use it to run. X jumps, or you can use it to shoot out a web in front of you. And so the idea would be that it sounds like they'll be easy to learn, hard to master kind of controls. It sounds like there'll be a lot of tricks and fluid kind of stunts that you can do. And I mean, if you just watch the little brief animations that are on Game Informer's website, you can just see that it looks completely fluid and completely like a Spider-Man game should, I guess, is for lack of a better word. And so I do think, and then combat, this is where the Arkham thing comes in. The combat, has gotten a lot of comparison to the Arkham games, but it also seems like it's not just the combos, that there's a lot of aerial movement around the arenas or areas. A lot of, keeping Spider-Man mobile as an acrobat and really using the environment. And so I think that's where it steps up from Arkham. Because Arkham, you can jump down to a middle group of thugs and just beat the snot out of them. Yeah. This doesn't seem like this. Seems like you really got to be fluid and quick and move around, which makes sense if you think about Spider-Man. He always moves with pretty quick speed. He's always graceful. Yeah, he's always very fluid in his movements and does not stand still. So unlike Batman, I think you'll see a lot more traversal with the combat. And I don't know if you've looked at this article at all.
I did a little bit, yeah. I was reading some of it, and it seems pretty interesting. And it's funny, I went to just Google search now, and I started to type in Game Informer, and as soon as I hit INF, it was like Game Informer, and then the very next thing is Game Informer Spider-Man. So clearly people are searching this. You know what I mean? If it's like the number 2 suggestion on Google right now.
I anticipate this being one of the biggest games of the year because Marvel also, you have the movies, you have such a market that they've done with film that this is like a win-win, right? This game will only benefit from the fact that Marvel movies are so popular now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that leads me into discussions. Do you think this could be Game of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has the potential. I mean, I know, like my roommate, he's super into. He's not a super huge video game fan. However, he loves those kind of open worlds where you can just run around and do whatever the hell you want. Like this. Like there's a Incredible Hulk game that was kind of like this, where you could just kind of like run around the city, just climbing buildings, He was into like Prototype and Prototype 2, which is the same thing. You could just like scale buildings in the same kind of way. So I know that he'll be super excited to play this kind of game. And I mean, the fact that it's Insomniac, oh man, I can't help but feel that they've picked like probably like the best studio to do this because of Infamous. Wait. No. Sorry.
Be careful. Yeah. That's the association everyone thought. That's everyone who thought, right?
Right.
That was the studio that would get it. Sucker Punch, you're thinking.
Sucker Punch, yeah.
But no, you're thinking Insomniac. You're thinking Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, right. Yeah.
And Sunset Overdrive, which Sunset Overdrive had a lot of open world traversal, right? It was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
I think they took that as a priming ground, and I think probably people saw what they did there and thought, man, the smoothness of the traversal in that would be perfect for Spider-Man if they could pull it off.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I think that's probably what they've done. Because let's be honest, everybody wants to play Spider-Man games, not just for the combat, but you want to play because you want to swing around the city as Spider-Man.
Well, of course. I mean, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah. And so I when I look at what's come out this year and what, I think God of War will have a big impact, but I think God of War doesn't have the same audience that Marvel does by any means, right? Celeste is a great game, but like you said yourself, it's an indie game.
Right.
Monster Hunter World's a great game, but let's face this too. This is the other thing that I was thinking about with Game of the Year. Games that come out later in the year get way more attention for Game of the Year.
Of course.
Because everybody forgets about what came out in January and February.
Well, that's why, Oscar season is December. November to December, because it's the last little month that they can get it out to be, Oscars, and then it's of course fresh in everybody's mind.
Right. And so that's what I keep thinking. I can't help but think is September, right? And then November, everybody starts having that discussion. And the only thing it's going to have to compete with is Red Dead 2, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which will be an interesting showdown. I mean, Rockstar is a powerhouse of a studio.
Right. But Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't win any Game of the Year, correct? If I remember.
I don't think it did. No.
And so, just because it's Rockstar and just because they'll sell 40 million copies for the next 10 years, doesn't mean that they have Game of the Year material. I think Spider-Man has an interesting story and does what they say they're going to do, which is Peter Parker, allow you to play as Peter Parker and Spider-Man and have those two worlds collide.
Yeah.
And just that, I don't know if you've seen any of that helicopter sequence that they previewed at several events for the Spider-Man game.
Maybe. I'm not 100%
That
sure.
alone tells me, and I think about the trailer from E3 in 2016, those things alone tell me this thing has the potential to be probably up there with Horizon Zero Dawn in terms of selling as an exclusive.
Yeah.
And I also think Game of the Year material. I really do. I can't think of anything else that comes out this year that touches it other than Red Dead 2. That's the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human will be great, but not Game of the Year material. God of War, like I said, won't. Far Cry, don't get me wrong, everybody loves that, but not enough to make that Game of the Year.
Yeah, no, that's more of a huge fan base than a Game of the Year kind of a thing.
Yeah. And so I've been trying to think, too, of other games on other platforms that are coming out this year that would maybe indicate anything, like if any Switch games were coming out this year that were big, that would be considered Game of the Year contenders. Because obviously Super Mario Odyssey won. But we have stuff like Mario Tennis, that's not going to be. Kirby All-Star or Kirby Stars Allies, that's not going to be Game of the Year material.
Well, I mean, you say that, but, Kirby All-Stars. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah. And so, I and then Xbox One, I can't think of anything. I mean, Xbox, let's be honest, there's very few exclusives in 2018 or ever anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Sea of Thieves ain't lighting the world on fire. And so
it's gaining some ground, but yeah, you're right. It's not really going crazy. Now, I will say, though, I mean, don't necessarily count games early in the year out because, look at Horizon Zero Dawn when that was released. And then,
that's true. Absolutely.
I mean, that wins Game of the Year because it's just such a phenomenal game. And people are playing it the whole year, They just kept playing it because it's so
well, and
such
Super
a good game.
Mario won Game of the Year at several award things too.
Yeah.
But, you don't have anything like that this year. And I think Horizon, honestly, is what I'm comparing Spider-Man to. And that's why I think it's got that potential.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, the other question is, well, actually, I think this goes without saying, if it does become contender for Game of the Year, does it top the Arkham series in terms of best superhero games made?
Well, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a wait and see, right? I mean, do you think that Arkham was like the new thing, like the first time it came out, like the very first one? Or do you think it was kind of like it was really good and then it gained some ground, and then by the time the second one came out, people were like, okay, yeah, this is it.
I think Asylum was really good, and then City really proved Rocksteady had something going.
Right.
I think the other thing you have to think about and consider too, and this is kind of where I'm going with this, what made Arkham so revolutionary was they made a combat system that pretty much everybody copied.
That's true.
Think of like Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. That's that combat system straight out of Arkham.
Yeah.
I can think of there are other games like that too that are escaping my mind at the moment that also borrowed that combat system. And every game gets compared to that. They're like, oh, this is just Arkham's combat. And so that's the only thing I think that will hold Spider-Man back is will they go, well, the combat feels familiar. It's just like Arkham.
But why is that necessarily a bad thing?
No, I don't think it is.
Taking a tried and true, proven combat system and adding the fact that you can just fly around and do whatever the hell you want as Spider-Man in the city?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. In fact, I think because Spider-Man is more agile than Batman, you have a chance to actually improve on the combat system.
Oh, yeah. I agree, especially with the webs. I mean, did you see in that article there was like a 30-second clip of of an actual fight, a combat clip?
Yeah.
And I was just watching it now, and this is just alpha footage, but I mean, it's pretty crazy. You're just kind of like sneaking up on guys. You highlight one and just use your web to sling down them and kick them in the back of the head, and juggle guys in the air with your, because you're slinging in the webs and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
And you have to admit too, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? That game just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it really does. And I know I messed up the studio before, but I will go back and say that I do like Insomniac's sense of humor with their writing, especially from like Ratchet and Clank. So I am interested to see what they're able to do with that, and if they're even if they're like allowed to incorporate that kind of silly kind of humor. Obviously, it's a kids game. Ratchet and Clank is a kid-based game with some adult humor, but I feel like this is the same kind of a thing, right? It's a comic book superhero thing that kids are going to want to play. I'm sure it'll get a teen rating, which doesn't necessarily mean that 10-year-olds aren't going to play it. But I want to see if they add their kind of sense of humor to it.
You have to. Spider-Man's a snarky character, right? I mean, that's what I loved about him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I think I'm excited that Insomniac has that because of their sense of humor.
I think this is Insomniac's coming out the way that Last of Us or Uncharted was for Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
This is Insomniac's. I really do believe that. I think, or the way that Guerrilla with Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Just
like retooled themselves completely.
Yeah, I think this is Insomniac's coming out. I think this is going to be their Horizon Zero Dawn. This is going to be their Uncharted 2 or 3. This will be what launches them into, okay, now you've got a ton of pressure on you to make another one and make it just as good.
Yeah, of course.
Or Rocksteady's Arkham. I think this is, any of those, pick any of those studios and those major games.
Yeah, of course.
This is their coming out party.
Yeah. I wonder if the third one will feature some kind of spider tank.
Yeah, you got to fly. It'll be a spider mobile. Right?
Yeah, right.
And you got to fly around the city.
Yep.
Oh. Hey, they tried. I mean,
no, I know it's something different, but it's just like going back to last week's topic about game mechanics. When they have something new, they just jam it down your throat a lot of the time. And like, oh, hey, look what we did! Look what we did for this game.
Yeah. Hey, isn't this amazing?
You better use the tank because we spent how many man hours on it?
Yeah. Well, don't worry. We got 45 missions that'll make sure you use that tank.
Exactly. This is our new system, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
And, and that's the thing. Like, stuff like that, when you're trying to stay ahead of the game or trying to, make things happen, can make or break you. Because, that kind of ties in with, like, go back to Black Flag and how, did they know that the pirate thing was going to take off? No, but it did. And it was, having those kind of mechanics in there to like just sail the open seas and like, take on like these other pirate ships made that game huge. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Hopefully, like you said, I think that as long as they do it right, it will be their kind of coming out Horizon Zero Dawn-ish thing. It'll be like their new thing.
Yeah. That's what they'll be known for. Ratchet and Clank's been a great ride for them.
Oh, for sure.
Sunset Overdrive made some noise, but I think this will make noise unlike anything else.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Mark my words. All 10 of you.
Yes, that's right. Spread the word, please. But now, Sunset Overdrive, you said, could you just kind of fly around willy-nilly, or like what was the
I never played it, but yeah, it had a lot of open world. You could surf through things and parkour over things, and I was really I don't know, I didn't play it, but it was really fluid in movement around the world from what I understood. And so that fluidity, I think, is what prepped them to be able to do something like they're doing now with Spider-Man.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that's all I got to say about that. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a good topic. I think...
oh, really? That's all you had to say about it?
I know. I went on for 15 minutes, but I am a fanboy. I will be the first to admit that. And I just think that after watching and reading that article, and you really should head over to GameInformer.com to check that out. I really think that this is probably going to be Insomniac's big blowout party. Let's go ahead and move into this day in gaming history. And I was looking through this earlier, and this was kind of a boring day unless you're a Xenoblade Chronicles Wii fan, or an iPhone, Atari's Greatest Hit fan in 2011. Xenoblade was in 2012. Beyond that, I guess, if you want to talk about, there's always a lot of DLC. That's the one thing I'm noticing more and more about these days in gaming history. And I feel like we're going to have to dedicate something to that sometime. There's a lot of DLC stuff that comes out. 2010 saw Mass Effect 2 Kasumi's Stolen Memory on Xbox 360 come out. That was timed DLC that came out. And so it's just funny, too, to see that kind of trickle down through the years. You can kind of start to see when DLC became a big thing because of more and more of the release dates for those are, scattered. There's no pattern to them, I guess. It's just, whatever one decides to come out. Beyond that, there wasn't really, I looked through it and I didn't really see much else. If we really, really want to go, back to 1994, you could talk about Japan's world release of Rise of the Phoenix, SNES. But beyond that, nothing. I mean, this is kind of a slow week, and actually it's kind of appropriate because it was a slow week for news other than Spider-Man being the big thing. The only thing really worth talking about.
Yeah.
So we're just going to, I don't know, unless there's anything you want to point out from that list. I don't see anything.
Air hockey on iPad version. I mean, why not,
Why not? Absolutely, why not?
Wait,
so yeah,
what?
Nothing.
Hold on. There is a game. It's called The Dishwasher: Vampire Smile.
Now, see, that would be worth looking into just for the heck of it. What we need to do? We need to pick one of these, track them down if we can, and play them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that on Xbox 360, it looks like it was the release in 2011. Yeah. The Dishwasher: Vampire Smile.
I don't know how I missed that one back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's go ahead and talk about See You Soon. This is where we go ahead and we take a look at the upcoming PlayStation games that came out this week on the PS blog. We just basically save you a lot of time and energy, and we read them for you. And so I'm actually excited about some of the stuff that came out this week. And I'm going to talk about which one I'm super excited about and which might be my out-of-pocket playthrough that I'm going to do. So first up is Adventure Pals, PS4 digital. Inspired by the classic platformers and cartoons alike, Adventure Pals sets you and your best friends, a giraffe and a rock, out to save the world and your dad from turning into hot dogs.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing says friends like a giraffe and a rock,
You know what? Honestly, this might be one of the best weeks for descriptions we've had ever in our 14 episodes.
Well,
because the next one is Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils. On PS4, PS Vita, digital, out 4/5, so April 5th, so I could download it today if I want. The year is 1999X. After a curse causes Bunny to grow cat ears when a thermodynamic power plant explodes, she is led by a chubby and divine messenger into the Cave of Devils so she can remove the hex.
Ooh, fancy. Maybe they heard our podcast and they're like, we gotta step up these descriptions.
Maybe they realized that finally, after years of being made fun of on podcasts, that they needed to step it up.
Yeah. Plus, I gotta say, the very next one, probably the first VR game that I've seen that has more than one sentence.
Yes, that is true. And we also read the trophies for this one last week. So if you missed last week's, these have amazing trophies. Go look at the trophies or listen to our podcast from last week. Crisis on the Planet of the Apes, PSVR digital. 5 years since the outbreak, the simian flu has wiped out half of humanity and left other primates changed. You are an ape with advanced intelligence, captured and held prisoner in a heavily guarded scientific facility as mankind desperately searches for a cure.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm pretty sure I saw some like gameplay footage on that. It looks pretty cool, actually.
I might check it out. I mean, I'm always hankering for. Maybe I'll do a let's play of it.
I think you're an ape, right?
I think so. Yeah. So maybe I'll do a let's play. Next one is Dangan Feverin. PS4 digital out 4.4 yesterday. Get in the groove with Dangan Feverin's old school style of refreshing and simple vertical scrolling gameplay. I just like that name.
Feveron.
Maybe it's Feverin. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's definitely Dangan. Or Dangan. Anyway, that one looks like it might be
groove.
Deadland, not to be confused with The Walking Dead, is out on PS4 digital. Welcome to Deadland. You must defeat your fears for survival and salvation in this reign of zombies. It looks like an 8-bit game.
I think some of the problem is that the way that you read these descriptions. I think you got to get fancier with them. I think you got to help sell them to the listener. You know what I mean?
I just think some of them sell themselves.
Well, I agree. But, oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh, sorry.
Yeah, I just scrolled down.
I just scrolled down. What?
Anyways, that's the game I'm talking about. All right.
But this next one is a nice description. I feel like it has some gusto
we'll see if we can sell it. Ignimatus 3, The Shadow of Carkel. Out on PS4 digital and out tomorrow for Friday 4/6. The demonic preacher has escaped to the remotest mountains in the pursuit of a grim secret that could give him ultimate power. He has already eluded the investigation of the protagonist, Detective, and her partner Hamilton twice, once in Maple Creek and again in Ravenwood. It's no mystery that this time, it's personal.
Ooh. See, that was a better selling and also a better description. Now, I'm going to read this next one because I was perusing the description and I feel like it needs to be read in the kind of like 1990s in a world kind of voice.
Go for it.
I'm going to do it. Ready for it? Epic Dumpster Bear. Dumpster Fire Redo. Or Redux. Whatever. I don't know. However you pronounce that. Anyways, an evil corporation destroyed his forest. Now it's his turn to take out the trash. Epic Dumpster Bear is an action-packed platformer inspired by the 16-bit classics where you play as a dumpster bear with a chip on his shoulder. What?
Perfect.
I mean, I'm buying that. As soon as we stop this, I'm buying that. That's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
That is the most ridiculous. I don't even know what to say other than this looks intense.
I saw this on Tuesday and I was like, Matt's going to love this when we record.
One, it's only $5, so I'm definitely buying it. Two, have you seen the screenshots of this thing? Oh my gosh. Oh God. It looks so like, it looks like so like, someone created this in their basement, but it looks hilarious and I want to play it.
I think we might have to do, this might have to be like a let's play that I do.
How could it not? It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I love how the rating is just crude humor. E plus 10 for crude humor. I can just imagine what this crude humor is going to be.
All right. So that's out PS4 digital. You can't get that one in stores, folks. You got to go.
Right. You got to go online.
Store.
But why would it matter? It's $5. Just pop on the PlayStation Store, click that purchase button, and just have oodles of fun with the dumpster bear. I don't even know what to say other than that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh, the gameplay video is just as good. What?
Well, don't spoil it.
Oh
don't spoil it. We're gonna do Let's Play as soon as I get back. I'll do one. I'll make that a top priority.
Dude, it's like Mario, but you're a bear. This looks amazing. Oh my god. Okay. All right.
All right.
I gotta stop.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We don't want to spoil it all in one.
I'll keep talking about it so much that will have to be the topic of conversation. That's gonna win Game of the Year.
There you go.
Be damned what you said about Spiderman. That's gonna be Game of the Year. Epic Dumpster Bear.
Oh my. All right. Flight of Light PS4 Digital is out today. Fly through fantastical forests in time to the funky beat. Cruise round coral reefs to the sounds of chilled out tunes. Oh, I like the alliteration they got going here. Race past asteroid colonies powered by electronic music.
Yeah, I like that. Man, these descriptions are on point this week. Wow.
Yeah, they are.
How has it been so bad the past couple weeks?
I don't know.
I mean,
no
since we've done this, really, past 13 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're getting the message finally.
Hopefully.
All right. Where was I? Oh, Impact Winter.
Yeah.
Also out PS4 Digital out 4.5. A mysterious radio transmission claims that help is inbound. You are Jacob Solomon, leader of a makeshift team trying to survive the aftermath of a devastating asteroid collision. The world you knew is no more, buried deep beneath the constant snowfall. Your goal? Keep your companions alive until rescue.
Cool. I like that. I like the cover art on that. It has got like a Star Wars
Hero
kind of
in the
vibe.
storm. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of like the Star Wars poster. I think. I don't know how it has kind of like all the characters kind of building up on each other.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Infernium, PS4 Digital. Infernium is a non-linear first-person survival horror. Dive in an interconnected, beautiful portrait of hell. Die in a prison without bars and overcome a brutal penitence. Interesting. This next one stars none other than Greg Miller as the voice of the crab.
What?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I saw him tweeting out about that this week. Island Time in VR, PSVR Digital. After a journey at sea, you are shipwrecked on a tiny island. Use your wit, ingenuity, and the advice of Carl the Crab, played by the one and only Greg Miller. You must find a way to keep yourself from starving and survive.
Wow. So you're not the crab. Carl's just your companion.
No, he helps you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Goodness, there's a lot of games out this week.
Right.
The King of Fighters 97 Global Match. I swore this came out last week. Wasn't there a King of Fighters game last week? Or the week before?
I don't know. I think there was. I don't think so. I think there was something that was scratched out. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe got pushed back.
Anyway, this one they still can't get the date right. It's out 4.3 instead of 4.5. PS4 and PS Vita digital. The final chapter in the King of Fighters Arachi saga. This titles one of the iconic entries in the series that cemented King of Fighters as a staple in the fighting game community around the world. Now it returns with new features such as online play. Metropolis Lux Obscura, PS4, PS Vita digital out 4.4. The city is rotten to the core. You can't even tell night from day in this hell where big money runs everything. And the best way to prove you're right is with brute force.
Oh, that was a good read.
Thanks.
Good read.
Thanks. This next one is going to be my next out of my pocket. So I'll play it for you and you can just check it out.
It looks
I love this idea. It's called Minute. It's PS4 digital.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Minute is a peculiar little adventure played 60 seconds at a time. Journey outside of the comfort of your home to help the unusual folk uncover countless secrets and overcome dangerous foes, all in hopes of lifting a rather unfortunate curse that ends each day after just 1 minute. So you literally die after 1 minute no matter what you do. And so you just try to talk to one NPC and then you die and you start over and you talk to the next NPC. And so you work your way through the world starting over and seeing how far you can get a minute at a time.
That's crazy. Now, I will say, it's kind of like Uncanny Valley. I remember I told you about that. Like, you're only awake for, like, a minute's worth or a few minutes worth, like 5 minutes worth or something like that of time. And it's very hard to try to get stuff done in that, especially when you're running around to these areas. You're like, oh, well, wait a second, what's going on? Like, am I going to be able to get to there in time? So, it's interesting.
All right. Of Mice and Sand, revised, PS4 digital, on a desert planet in the furthest reaches of space, mice await your command. Direct their mobile fortress and seek the legendary city of gold. Penny Punching Princess is out on PS Vita digital, another great title this week, just by the name. Penny Punching Princess is an isometric brawler. Oh, that's awesome. It takes place in a world ruled by capitalism, where cash is king. Fight or bribe your way to reclaiming your kingdom from the greedy Dragalones.
What's isometric?
Basically like a top-down, like 3/4 of the way top-down fighter. So, think Hotline Miami.
Right. Okay.
I like the idea. It sounds like you could probably bribe your way through the whole game.
I gotta say, though, guess how much it is?
A penny. That would be amazing.
$40.
Whoa. No kidding.
Yes, bleep expletive.
I almost asked Dave to bleep that one out.
Yeah, $40.
Goodness.
Yeah. So it's gotta be a legit game.
Now I need to look it up, but
yeah,
I'll do that after we're done. Raining coins, PS4 digital, so there's a theme here with money this week.
Yeah.
It's raining gold coins. The skies have opened up, but it's not raining cats and dogs. It's raining gold coins. Wow. Help poor Eve catch the gold coins and buy the toys she loves. She's sweating real hard in that picture.
She sure is. Well, I think the problem is, in the picture, she's trying to catch it with her piggy bank. So how, I mean, if it's raining coins and you're trying to
hit
get...
the ground, girl.
Yeah, exactly. Just pick it up off the ground. I don't know how you're going to get in the tiny little slot of your piggy bank from the air. I mean, that's some skill. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Goodness. All right.
I like this title on this next one.
Yeah, Rememoried. PS4 digital out tomorrow for 6. Rememoried is an independent video game, no kidding. A virtual place where memories change to dreams, and the only possible way is forgetting, which becomes a mechanism for proceeding to the next layer of dreams. The surrealist, explorative, first-person adventure game.
Wow.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does, actually.
Okay, this next one also.
Yes.
Great. PS Vita.
I want to read this one.
Go for it.
PS Vita Digital. Sir Eats-a-Lot. The kingdom of Gluttington was at peace until one day, Hysterica poisoned the isotonic waters with sour lemonade. Gross. That evil witch. The kingdom's crops are withering, but this plague has yet to befall all the lands. There is still hope. King Diatan III dispatches his greatest, bravest, stoutest knight to save the kingdom from certain ruin. Sir Eats-a-Lot. Yes.
I told you this is got to be one of the best weeks for indie games.
Oh my gosh, it is. Look at these. Oh, look at this screenshot. He's a sir, right? So he's a knight. Mm-hmm. So he has like this the top on his chest, and his just stomach is just exposed, like the fat boxer in in Punch Out. Oh my gosh, this looks great.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
they are killing it this week. I don't even know. $11.99. I feel like that's worth it.
I know. Yeah, you could easily spend $40 this week just because of the ridiculous.
Just on Penny Punching Princess, you could spend $40.
But a lot of these games are cheap this week. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I mean, Dumpster Bear, $5. Come on. What kind of epic adventures are you going to have with Epic Dumpster Bear? I mean, for $5, that's going to be amazing.
Well, even Bunny Must Die is $15. I mean,
what? Wow.
Yeah. Island Time Crab game with Greg Miller. If you want to spend time with Kind of Funny's Greg Miller, that's $15.
Yeah.
I mean,
$10 for a minute.
Yeah, $10 for a minute. You can't make this up, folks. I mean, this is just too good.
The best bang for your buck's got to be the Epic Dumpster Bear, though. $5. Just wait, folks.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna play it.
Oh yeah, we both will.
It's gonna be amazing.
I think what we'll do is we'll both record us playing it, and we'll combine them for like an epic let's play.
Yes. Oh my god!
So you have to send me your video there from it.
I will, because that's awesome.
Oh man, heck, even Crisis of the Planet of the Apes is $10 right now. So I mean, this is a dangerous week to be reading the blog.
It is.
All right. Well, let's see. Oh, I knew what I wanted to do. I'll tell you what. Let's move straight into that's it for See You Soon. So we'll see some of those games very soon on Let's Plays. Let's go ahead and move into trophies.
Hey-o.
This is how we'll wrap things up, and we're actually going to wrap it up on a very big note. And I had picked this game. This is why I was so excited on Tuesday. I also decided to pick this game to look at trophies for. We're going to look at Epic Dumpster Bears trophies.
Oh, are we? Yes! Yep. The trophies that I will be obtaining shortly.
And so it does have a platinum, which is even better.
Yes.
25 trophies.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
So let's just look at some of these and we can talk about some. If you want to guess some of them, you can.
Oh, I'm going to guess some of them.
All right.
I mean, that's the whole point of this game. I mean, not the game, not Epic Dumpster Bear, but the whole point of what would Matt do for the trophy, clearly.
So let's we'll pick a couple of these to guess. So what do you want? Do you want the description or do you want the name of the trophy? Because the description, the trophies don't match up very well with the descriptions. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, give me a couple, let's read just a couple normal ones, both the thing and the description, and let me get a feel for what they're going for.
Okay. So if you defeat the boss in World 1, it's called Bee Brainwashing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The boss in World 2 is the wolf was weak.
Okay.
The boss in World 3 was the sandworm was a ruse.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay yellow coins to unlock a level, it's called Pocket Change. That one kind of fits.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, get 3,100 target points called Target King. So, I mean, some of those are on. Some of the fun ones, though, have nothing if I were to tell you, complete a level using the double jump power up, what do you think the name of that trophy would be?
Bouncy Bear.
See, now that's good. Yeah. I mean, okay, so you're thinking the right way. It's called You Farted.
I mean, how else would you get that second propulsion?
This one also ties in with flying. Complete a level using the wing power up.
The wing power up?
Mm-hmm. So
complete a level using the wing power up.
Yeah, the wing power up.
Up and away.
See, that would be good. It's called When Bears Fly.
Okay. Going off the old adage of when pigs fly. Okay. Fair enough.
Let me give you the name of a trophy.
All right.
A crucial blow. No, that was too tough. Earn at least a silver medal in each level.
You're number 2.
Not too bad. Very fast.
Oh. I was going with the fart theme, yeah.
Yeah. Last one here. Because there's not a whole lot of trophies, and we actually talked about a lot. You won the Dumpster Olympics.
You won the Dumpster Olympics?
Yeah. What's the description? That's the trophy title.
I mean, Epic Dumpster Master. Come on.
Yeah. Get 30 gold medals.
Get 30 gold. Oh, the description. Oh, my bad. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That was my fault.
And then, of course, the platinum's called Platinum Dumpster.
All right. They topped it off with the best Platinum Dumpster. I will be getting these trophies.
I will too, actually, and I'll be doing Let's Plays. We'll compare our thoughts on this amazing fight.
Just watching this gameplay footage is it's silly. I don't even know what to say. It looks like Mario as a bear, like legit, like Super Mario Brothers, like the original, but as a bear. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It looks pretty awesome.
Well, Matt, we've come to the end. We have no content creator yet. And so send me, I seriously don't care if you make video games. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you do makeup videos. If you create content you want to be shared with our video game audience, let me know.
Come on, folks.
We
know you're out there.
We do. We know some of you listen. I know you do.
That's right.
All right. Well, other than that, I have nothing else. That's the end of our show. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week. And until then, I guess game on.
Game on. Outro music. Epic Dumpster Bear. Oh my gosh.
Good stuff.
Oh, that is insane.